Hello, hello. Welcome to the Get You Some Podcast. It has been raining here in beautiful Sacramento. As I promised, I would single-handedly fix California's drought problem with nothing but the power of the sad rain cloud that follows me everywhere I go. That, of course, and my drip, which is too moist for one state to handle. Ooh. December is already here, and it is finally acceptable to start putting up holiday decorations. A friendly reminder to my fellow anti-socialites. Ooh, just because we hate Christmas time and Christmas music does not make it okay for us to bring down everyone else's spirits. Me personally, if I never heard "All I Want for Christmas Is You" ever again for the rest of my life, I would be content. But everyone deserves to enjoy their own shit. So I remind you, keep that shit to yourselves. On the other hand, for you that enjoy Christmas time, enjoy that shit. But do not force feed it down our throats either. Just as you deserve to enjoy it to your fullest, we also reserve the right to be miserable in our solitude. As I have always said, you eat your cereal, and we'll eat ours. Now, on to our first topic. We got a training question. Yeah. This question comes from the lovely Michelle Jackson. Hey, Michelle asks, how the hell do you find time to work out? That is a very good question. Shout out to Michelle, who has helped me farm a long list of training questions because she's just fly like that. In answer to your question, training time varies from person to person, but it boils down to what and why. What are you training for? If you're training for competition or the Olympics, this probably isn't a part-time job for you. It's likely you have sponsors, and getting into competition shape is your full-time job. Why are you training? Why? Are you an amateur competitor? Or are you trying to get in shape for a wedding? Do you just want to stay healthy? Do you want to get the doctor to call off that hit they put out on you for your last checkup? Too many times as a trainer, I've heard the phrase, "I don't have enough time." Bullshit. This is number one bullshit. You have time. You just don't make any for training. Sure, there are few exceptions, but I'm gonna be real with you. Here's what my day looks like. I wake up at 6 a.m. I drive 45 minutes to work. I spend 8.5 hours on my shift. I go straight to the gym, put in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I drive back home, study for 3 classes that are only 7 weeks long, prep for my next day, read for about 45 minutes to tune down, and then I repeat the cycle over again. This isn't even me when I'm busy. It was a lot busier when I was raising kids, coaching, my powerlifting teams, and working more than one job. It really all boils down to time management. So here's how I do it. My showers are only 10 minutes long. I put conditioner in my hair, I let it sit while I soap. Rinse all at once. Breakfast, microwavable oatmeal and a fruit, and my first glass of water. On my way to work, I listen to podcasts or audiobooks. When I'm at work, when no one is looking, I do air squats in my cubicles. When I was training for competition, my master would tell me, every time you piss, do 25 push-ups. Every time you shit, do 25 air squats. And every time you have a negative thought, put yourself in a plank until you can't think about that shit anymore. I miss having 3 hours to train at the gym, because as a powerlifter, we have to dedicate that time to get stronger. Now, I just get what I can. But here's the important part. When you're at the gym, be at the gym. You know how many times I see people texting and fucking talking? I'm not saying you can't do that. Hey, you pay for your membership, do whatever the fuck you want. Wear a full set of makeup and barely break a sweat. Stand by the fountain and talk and text your ass off. Work those thumbs. But don't tell me you don't have time to train. 5 minutes to warm up, 45 minutes of lifting, 1 minute rests in between sets, no fucking around. Finish with a nice low impact cardio. And get your shit and get the fuck out of there. I drink my dinner while driving home. A nice little protein shake, and I make my phone calls on the way home. I don't do carbohydrates after 8 o'clock. No carbs after 8. Get yourself a date. Be conscientious with your time. If you really want it, you'll find a way. Okay, moving on. This episode is brought to you by Ancestry.com. Wait, I'm part Polynesian? Still no sponsorships? Just checking. Now on to the music topic. This one is from Jeff Sizzle, my dizzle, for shizzle. Dear Zechs, how's your grouping from 15 yards? Still ass, but I still always aim for the schnutzy because center mass. I heard you're a big fan of Mashu-Ups. What is one of your all-time favorites? Thanks for the DM, Jeff. And then Yev. Sorry, had to. Mashups are one of my weaknesses, because I used to make my own with Virtual DJ back in 2008, but I'm not gonna lie, there are some absolute abominations out there. Some music should never be mixed together. That being said, here are a couple of my personal favorites.
You're my medicine. Open up and let me in. Darling, you're so great. I can't wait for you to operate. Seems like you're ready for more. Let's just kiss till the night. I can't wait for you to operate. Ooh, Versace on the floor. Baby, when I should be sleeping at night.
This is what I imagine it would sound like if Marvin Gaye was still alive and he and Bruno Mars had a duet. It is so incredibly well done. The chords, the tempo, it fits seamlessly together, like a true medley does. I used to play this for people when I would Uber, and my passengers would almost always give me the sticker on the app for good music taste. Duh. Now here's one more for my hip-hop cats, paying tribute to 40 years of hip-hop.
Take the keys to my truck. Pour lean in my cup, get nice, split the blunt up. Come on, everybody, let's get the fuck up. Man, what y'all wanna do?
So what you wanna do?
What you gonna do? Wanna be a baller, B-ballers, shot callers. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her.
I was like, good gracious, ass is bodacious.
And I approach baby like,
That's crazy, right? How many of those did you actually recognize? Comment below. Okay, so we've got the music out of the way. Now it's time to get into some heavy shit.
Now this is some heavy shit.
Today's mental health topic comes from 2 requests. The first one is from the lovely Charlene, who might be the only person who's actually seen every episode I've put out so far. So if you're listening, thank you, Charlene. Hi! And hello to your pet pig, Napoleon. Someday, I want a pet pig. I'm gonna name him Piggy Smalls, aka the notorious P.I.G. That or Porkins, maybe Porks McKenzie. Topic choice of the day is setting healthy boundaries. It's very similar to one I got from my homegirl Mac Rizzle, who had a few questions that all essentially deal with her girlfriend constantly testing her on a regular basis. Folks, These are extremely similar questions that come down to the same basic principles. In any relationship, be it romantic, platonic, family, or otherwise, communication and respect are key. You need to know what each other is about, and you need to be able to respect each other enough to adjust. On the other hand, you also need to respect yourself. In every relationship, there is a level of compromise. You make adjustments for the people you care about. However, there are some things that you simply cannot compromise. Those being the very things that make you who you are. Right from the get-go, I'm going to tell you something you may not believe. You don't have to let anyone disrespect you. By your demeanor and your mindset, you teach everyone around you how to treat you. But it's not just your words, the words you speak, it's your actions. Sometimes it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, your tone, your volume. Sometimes it's what you don't say, your body language, your silence. I learned long ago that the same words in a different tone can convey an entirely different message. I used to look after these 3 kids, ranging from children to teenagers. Their father would always yell at them, and yet they would still disobey. Remember what I said about the loudest one in the room being the weakest? I rarely, if ever, yelled at these kids, but they never disobeyed me. And that's because I would speak softly. I would let my demeanor tell the story. My body language would change. My posture would straighten. I would broaden my shoulders. And the funny thing is, the more irritated I became, the softer I spoke. I did this so that they would have to work harder to listen, as it became more difficult to hear my words. As my tone would change, even the speed of my words, the cadence would change from smooth and tempoed to sharper and yet slower in execution. Really, it was the look that said it all. I would utilize the same look that I gave to my opponents, the 1,000-yard stare. Essentially, you look at them like you're trying to pierce them with your eyes. You gotta practice that one in the mirror. My point is, you have to change up the way you convey these messages in a way that they've never heard before, at least not from you. So, if they're used to you raising your voice and yelling all the time, speak softer and slower, and make them have to listen closely to what you're saying. Let's talk about the reasons we draw lines in the sand. A wise person once told me that I have to take myself seriously, or else how can I expect anyone else to? In regards to your relationships, you need to consider the things that irritate you. We're not going to count all of them, or we'd be here forever. I'm talking about the things that irk you. You know what I'm talking about. It's the little things here and there that you force yourself to tolerate that grow into huge relationship-ending things if you don't nip them in the bud. I'm talking about the toxic shit people do to manipulate you. There are so many. But at the top of my head, there's gaslighting, minimizing, or just trying to break you down to make themselves feel better. All of that kind of shit has to go. If you find yourself dealing with someone that is constantly taking away your moments, always comparing themselves to you or you to others, or just straight up disrespecting you, don't put up with that shit. You have to realize that you deserve to be happy. The people in your life either contribute something positive or they don't belong. Imagine that I gave you a timer that told you exactly how much time you had left on this planet. It doesn't matter what that number read. I guarantee you most of us would realize it's not a lot. So knowing how little time we really have, why the fuck would you spend it with anyone who makes you feel like shit all the time? Now, while they are most certainly to blame for that kind of behavior, there are other factors involved. For one, people get away with shit when we let them. You and your most powerful standpoint is your ability to walk away. Being alone is not a death sentence. You know how many times I've met people who jump from relationship to relationship because they're afraid to be alone? That kind of mentality is dangerous. When you rely on others for your happiness, you surrender your life to them. I say, fuck that. Take your goddamn life back. Starting today, I urge you to start drawing lines in the sand. Not for the petty shit, the deal-breaking shit. If you're tired of your boyfriend minimizing the things you love and making you feel stupid, leave his bitch ass. That girl you like who is always flaking on you and never commits to plans, or if she does, complains the entire time that you're out, stop taking that shit. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're worth more than that. If you let people walk all over you, you'll be a doormat until you stand up for yourself. How much is your integrity worth to you? I've had a lot taken from me in this lifetime. And you know what? The one thing they will never take away from me is my dignity and my integrity. I can lose it, but they can't take it. That's one of the only things no one can take. So hold on to that shit. There are always people out there who will respect you and treat you right if you do the same for them. So I'm not telling you not to be courteous or kind. I'm just saying, start making a mental note of the things that mean something to you. The things that make you who you are. And draw lines in the sand to protect them. I don't care who it is. If anyone crosses it, you give them fair warning. They cross it again, make an example. For God's sakes, please take yourself seriously. You deserve to be happy. And if there are people taking away your ability to do that, kick their asses to the curb. If someone shows you respect, treat them the same. Respect each other's boundaries, or don't associate. It's that simple. The people that care about you will make an effort to adapt their behaviors for you. And you must do the same for the people you wish to keep. But don't settle for mistreatment just so you're not alone. Don't betray yourself. Email me for more info. I have an abundance of resources I could suggest to help you. teamepyon@gmail.com. Happiness is a choice. And it is out there. You just gotta go and get you some.